What is going on, everybody? Today we are checking out how a German home maximizes energy efficiency. Now, you guys know Americans, usually the word energy and then efficient don't really go together that well with us. Big trucks, big cars, big engines, big houses. You know, energy efficiency isn't too much of a thing here. It's becoming more and more. Well, I'll say people are becoming more aware of it. Now, a German home, I know that there's like a stereotype that Germans are always opening their windows. I don't know how that would be efficient wintertime though, and that's usually where I hear people complaining about it. Smash the like button, let's dive in. My oh my, this is an old video, 10 years.
All right, Kevin, so this is a typical German house. It's about 1,800 square feet. You know, U.S. is going to be about 2,500 to 2,700 average.
Okay.
You can feel the scale being a little bit smaller, but it's got everything you need.
Almost a third small.
I don't think an average American home is 25 to 27. That can't be true at all. I would say it's probably closer to like 2 or like 1,900 maybe. We got to look. Okay, the average home size in the United States is approximately 2,300 square feet. Have we gone down? So the peak was in 2015 where it was 2,467. In 2024, it was 2,210. Okay.
Smaller.
Kitchen's right here.
Oh, wow. A small kitchen, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of an apartment kitchen almost.
This has got everything you need in a nice
Yeah,
compact
it kind of
space.
does look like that.
Here in the living room, you can see how a typical German house is heated. There's a boiler somewhere in the building that heats water, and then the water is delivered to either radiators like this or radiant floor heating.
Right, so different looking radiators than we're used to seeing.
Right. I mean, these radiators come in every size and shape. And water is really the ultimate transfer medium. If we heat water, we can now move it anywhere we want through the building. We can zone like crazy, and it's very comfortable delivering heat to a building.
So on a lot of projects that we work on, we do use radiators. But in general, the United States, don't we typically use forced hot air to heat the homes?
Yeah, I've never really heard of a home being heated by radiators. I don't even think I've ever seen one.
I think that's a question of where we are. Germany is at a latitude which is north of almost anywhere in the United States, a little below Alaska, but in general, it's a northern climate, so it's principally heating.
Right.
United States, we have a lot of places that need cooling predominantly, and so that drives the decision to use ducted systems for air conditioning. Once you have ducts for air conditioning, you can do heating as well, and it sort of becomes more convenient.
Got it.
And
Okay, all right, makes sense, makes sense.
the numbers are really dramatic. 99% of the houses in Germany use radiators. 93% of the houses in the United States use forced hot air ducted systems.
Wow, what a huge difference.
It's crazy. So that's how they heat the building, but also you got to think about trying to keep the heat that you make inside the building. This is a typical
Thicker walls, I can already tell. That wall is so much thicker than a normal American home wall.
German house, but there's glass. Now, glass is usually a huge liability. Look at the difference here.
A huge liability because this is a great place to lose the heat through
That's
glass.
right. So feel this.
Yeah.
This thing, it's heavy. It's triple pane glass, triple, okay? And it closes tight as anything.
Yep, and very smooth operation right here.
And if that's not enough, you can close that, and you can also do this. Now, these are roll shades.
What?
Now, roll shades can drop down, so now once they close, they can provide an air gap like a storm window in the winter.
So at night these would come.
Do all German homes have this? I mean, if you have these in your house, this is like the purge type stuff. You gotta be like really rich to be able to have these. I've never seen these in real life. I mean, I've seen a version of it, but not on a house, especially in a doorway.
Come down to keep the heat in the house?
Absolutely. Air gap like a storm window in the winter.
So at night these would come down to keep the heat in the house?
Absolutely. Now, you also can use them for solar gain in the summer so that it'll knock down the solar gain that comes in.
So when I see these back in the U.S.,
Makes
I
sense.
typically think of them as storm shutters, but here it's about energy efficiency?
Right. It's energy efficiency, but it's also a cultural difference. People like to close these at night to sort of keep their place private.
Okay.
And look at this, Kevin. Here's the cross-section of the outside of the house. You've got concrete block right here that's insulated, and then outboard of that, you've got an additional 5 inches of insulation.
That's wrapped all the way around the house?
That's right. They want to keep the heat inside the building that they
So
paid
much
for.
thicker.
So in a German house, it's really about the size of the building. It's about how you deliver heat to the building. It's keeping the heat that you've paid for inside the building. And finally, it's about its efficiency and maintaining that high efficiency over time. If I do a system in the United States, it can go in perfectly efficient, but if it's not maintained, it can drop off over time.
So if I don't change my filters, if I don't clean the furnace or the boiler, that efficiency goes down year after year.
Right. Well, German government does not want that to happen. So what they do is they send an inspector to every single house in every single town once a year.
Really?
And that inspector is the chimney sweep.
And so what is he doing? Is he literally cleaning the chimneys?
He does an efficiency test and an emissions test. If it's not up to a certain standard, it gets turned off. It has to be repaired or replaced immediately. And look at the neighbor's house right here. You can see there's a ladder built right in to allow that chimney sweep to go up to the roof to check it and make sure everything's okay.
So built
No
into
way.
the roof because they know he's coming every year?
Every single year.
Oh.
Now, the other thing that's different in Germany is a thing called the Energy Pass. It's really a report card on every single building in the country, a history of how much energy is used by that building. Now, you might not think it's important, but it will come into play if you ever sell the building or if you're trying to rent an apartment. It would index what you'd pay for rent or what you might get for the building when you sell it.
So the value of
That's
my
pretty cool.
house can be determined in part by how efficient it is.
That's right. And what it does, it really invites people to invest in their building to make it more energy efficient.
So it is really a cultural thing.
Right. It's a mindset.
All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.